Welcome to Nibble Time Bar Review. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about some German immigrants who came to America to find a better life for themselves. They started up a little company and started selling some beer out of St. Louis. And that company was Budweiser. Some things about Budweiser: they have a name very similar to another company over in Europe. So if you ever do go to Europe and you're looking to buy Budweiser, I don't know why you would be doing this. You have to ask just for Bud. Budweiser in the United States, just Bud in Europe, because it's too close to Budweiss, which was a Czechoslovakian beer. I'm going to try and find some of that Czechoslovakian beer and see if it's actually really good, as opposed to traditional Bud Light in the United States, which is kind of watery. It just is. But let's go back in time to when they started the company. German beers, they generally don't do more than, they stick with 5 ingredients. That's what they did. They started this company, they had 5 ingredients, and one of them was kind of unique for the time. So they did their water, their barley malt, their yeast, their hops, and rice. So that was kind of like revolutionary at the time for them. It was controversial that they used rice in their beer, but it made it lighter, crisper, and a little bit different. See, back in the late 1800s, when Budweiser was introduced, most people drank their beer from local breweries, and they were darker beers. Well, Budweiser made a nice, crisp lager. They called it an American lager, and it took off, became wildly popular. Fast forward a little bit, we go into Prohibition. How does a company that makes beer survive through Prohibition? Well, I'll tell you, they do what anybody would do when you think of a beer company, especially Budweiser. They started selling pop, they started selling and producing ice cream, and a non-alcoholic cereal-based beverage as well, just to stay afloat. Prohibition gets repealed, they start selling their beer again, people are happy and love it. Fast forward to 2020. People don't drink beer as much. People are looking to have less calories, so they go with seltzers. Bud Light produces a seltzer. Now, it is fall. We are well into October. This is the fall flannel pack that Bud Light Seltzers has released. We have 4 flavors. We got pumpkin spice, we have toasted marshmallow, apple crisp, and maple pear. Very unique, very odd flavors, coming out of like seltzer waters to begin with, or not seltzer water, seltzer drinks, hard drinks. They introduce it, it comes out, it's doing okay. Some people are trying it, some people aren't. Fast forward 1 year from 2020 to 2021, they change up their marketing to be like, hey, try our seltzers. It's not our beer. It's not our beer. They're covered on their commercials right now. You'll see Bud Light Seltzer, and they're covering up the Bud Light part of it and going, seltzer, give us a shot. I will recommend to you right now, if you like seltzers, you like the White Claws, you like the Trulies, give Bud Light Seltzer a try. I've had their basic 4 flavors, the ones they launched with, which is like black cherry, lemon, I can't remember the other 2. They're fine. They're good. They're actually much better than you would ever think that they would be. But seeing the fall flannel pack, I had to try it. So I'm going to move this out of the way. It is an empty box because they're all getting cold. We've got our 4 flavors here. So I'm going to do a little sampling of each one, and we'll go from there. So, which should I start with? Maple, apple, toasted, pumpkin spice. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to start with apple crisp. And the reason being is that I'm not a huge fan of apple. apple ciders, different things like that. I'm just not a big fan of it. So let's see how this flannelly apple crisp goes. That is apple pie alcohol. You're hit with a crisp appley flavor, and it finishes off kind of like an apple pie would. It's actually not terrible. Pears to me are the FU fruit. I don't like pears. They're not good. This has maple, so let's see what's going on. I make it sound like I don't like fruits because I'm bashing on the two fruits. I just like berries better. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, bananas. They're actually a berry. Strawberries, not a berry. Weird to know that. But let's try this one here. This is actually very mapley. It wafts over. I taste no pear. It's like drinking alcoholic maple syrup, just less sweet. So that's interesting. Let's go pumpkin spice. It's October, right? The cool thing is that all these are just 100 calories. So when I end up having to drink all these, that's just 400 calories. That is, wow, that is pumpkin spice. That is definitely just pumpkin spice. Like when you're in the kitchen at your grandmother's house and you're making pumpkin pie together and you smell the pumpkin spice that she's about to put into the pumpkin pie. That's what it tastes like. It's very pumpkin-y. It's quite good. It's quite refreshing. And now we have toasted marshmallow. I had to smell this one. It smells like marshmallow. It tastes like a s'more. It really does. It tastes like the marshmallow, the toasted marshmallowy s'more part of a s'more. It doesn't have the chocolatiness note to it, but it's good. So straight across the board, each one of these is actually quite good. Even though, like, I'm not a big fan of apple, I would say this was my least favorite out of the four. The pumpkin spice would be my favorite one, with the toasted marshmallow just behind it. Maple pear, and then of course the apple crisp. So that. So let's give them some ratings. Bud Light seltzers. They are very sweet. Each one of them. It's got a little bit of alcohol taste to it, not overpowering. So I am going to go ahead and say 72, 70, 68, 66. So a reduction of 2, or going the opposite way, up by 2 on each one. And they are all, they're all good. I'm going to end up finishing all of these because we don't want things to go to waste. Generally, I don't eat all the food, but I am the only one over 21, so I will have to drink the beverages myself. So, let me know what you think of the different seltzers. Are you a seltzer fan? Are you a beer fan? Are you a hard liquor fan? Do you like seeing alcohol-based beverages in the reviews? Or do you prefer it sticking with the snacks that are a little bit more universal? Let me know, and dilly dilly.